Americans, we are on notice because Trump's tyrannical takeover of American government gets tested on Tuesday. And this has been a plan of Trump and Project 2025 from the very beginning. And in this breaking story, you're going to see exactly what I mean, because every single thing Trump has done to this point has come down to being able to take away power by inciting fear and voter intimidation. And that's exactly part of what ICE has accomplished. Before I show you the breaking story in just a few seconds, take a quick listen to some of this sound.
We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And the enemy from within, in my opinion, is more dangerous than China, Russia, and all these countries. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary.
Oh, it doesn't stop there.
Across the country, tension around Election Day is mounting. Fears of voter intimidation and violence at polling places considered a real threat. In Philadelphia today, a strong message from the mayor, police chief, and district attorney.
So if you are planning in Philadelphia to try to steal our votes, I got a jail cell.
That's the defiance we need.
Donald Trump is already trying to steal the 2026 election. Look, I know because I spent more than 30 years on the front line defending your right to vote.
Right now, the president's saying he will use his executive authority to require every American to vote have voter identification in order to cast a vote.
There is a right-wing network of organizations that are spending even more than that. And of course, the White House is now in the game.
The president also saying he wants to eliminate mail-in voting except for those with severe illnesses and for the military in faraway locations.
Because it is headed by Donald Trump. And the one thing that Donald Trump cares about is trying to make sure that he doesn't lose power.
Yeah, what he said.
Federal locations managed at the state level. It's unclear if an executive order by the president would be constitutional.
Military presence to try and intimidate certain kinds of voters from staying away from the polls, particularly minority voters who are very afraid of the military, particularly Hispanics right now, who are subject to being arrested by ICE, whether or not they're illegal or U.S. citizens.
Understand, it only takes 66 days to change a person's way of thinking. And Trump's had more than 270 in just this second term, because there's more of this.
We have two enemies. We have the outside enemy, and then we have the enemy from within.
In this speech that he gave, he erases the line between the military and American politics. It's a real constitutional problem.
Trump has made Americans believe skipping due process is just fine when it comes to that. But what it really comes down to is voter suppression and voter intimidation.
By National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
Check out this breaking story.
They may be arrested. ICE makes startling admission on election monitoring operation, with millions of voters expected to descend to the polls Tuesday in a series of off-year elections, including in California, where voters will vote on a constitutional amendment to redraw the state's congressional districts. The Trump administration made a startling admission regarding how its poll monitors may operate on Election Day. The Trump administration has deployed Justice Department officials to monitor elections in both California and New Jersey, citing allegations of election irregularities from Republican leadership in both states, a move that critics have labeled as blatant voter intimidation. The New York Times reported Sunday that officials with Immigration and Customs Enforcement said that while the agency would not target polling sites with immigration raids, there was one important caveat. If a dangerous criminal alien is near a polling location, they may be arrested as a result of that targeted enforcement action, the statement read, as reported by the Times. The DOJ plans to have staff from its Civil Rights Division stationed at polling sites, many of them in areas with significant Hispanic populations, purportedly to ensure compliance with federal voting laws. Officials in both states, however, have pushed back. California Attorney General Rob Bonta announced that the state would be deploying its observers to monitor the monitors, the Times reported, and New Jersey's Attorney General, Matt Platkin, called the deployment of federal monitors highly inappropriate, and also pledged to deploy its own observers to monitor for potential voter intimidation. Concerns have also been raised about the effect the deployment of federal election monitors could have on the turnout of Hispanic voters. For many, however, the Trump administration's tactics have only emboldened Hispanic voters to get out to the polls. Especially here in California, we need to speak up. said Alo Hurtado, a Hispanic voter in California who vowed to vote in person and not by mail out of fear of mail tampering, speaking with the Times.
You see, this is what's going to happen. He's been inventing problems in Portland, inventing problems in Los Angeles, inventing problems in Chicago, so that he can use the military and the National Guard to incite and create problems to shut things down. And when this is all said and done, what we're going to witness on Tuesday, highly likely, is causing so much mayhem and destruction at polling locations that they have to shut the polls down in the vein of national and public security. That is an authoritarian takeover of the U.S. government. Like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and you guys stay focused and frosty when it comes to Tuesday.